Hi, I'm Jason Morrell, and in this video I'm going to show you how to go from a standard list like this to a multi-level numbered list like this in this style. Let's break this down. Level 1 uses the word article in uppercase followed by Roman numerals in uppercase. That's the numbering system for the main headings. But level 2 and 3 onwards use legal style numbering. That's the 1.1, 1.1.1. So Word has to convert the uppercase Roman numeral 1 into a digit 1 and so on all the way through the different levels there. How is this done? Well, let's find out. Now before we go any further, don't forget that if this video is useful for you, you'll find some downloadable resources including this template that I'm about to create in the description below. So check that out after the video. So let's maximize this window. Select the text that we want to number, go to the multi-level number icon and define new multi-level list. I'm going to build this from scratch, so I'm going to ignore what's there already. Let's wipe that out to start off with. And in its place, we're going to write the word article in uppercase, followed by a space. And then for the numbering system, we're going to use uppercase Roman numerals. That's III. That's level 1 done. Level 2, we're going to wipe out what's there. And in its place, we're going to start with level 1 because it's dependent on that number, followed by a dot, followed by 1, 2, 3. Now at the moment, it says I.1. That's not what we want to see. We want to see 1.1. So to change that, we click Legal Style Numbering. When that's set, everything follows the 1.1, 1.1.1 style system all the way down for as many levels as you have. Let's do level 3. Same thing, let's wipe out the box. We're going to start with level 1, followed by a dot, level 2, followed by a dot, followed by the 1, 2, 3 numbering system for the third level. Again, it starts off as I.1.1, so let's click Legal Style Numbering and make it 1.1.1. Now that's the bulk of the work done. When we click OK, you can see that everything starts off at top level. So it's got the article 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on in uppercase Roman numerals. So to get this to the right headings, we can either position our cursor here and press Tab or the indent icon at the top here. And for heading 3, we'll indent it twice. For this heading 2, we'll indent once. And for this heading 3, we'll indent twice. So everything's in the correct position, everything's numbering as it should. Now before we go messing with positioning, if you plan to use styles to control your numbering, which I highly recommend, then it's a good idea to link them first, set the styles for the numbering, and then look to see what sort of spacing you need at the end. So let's very quickly go through that process. So I'm just going to reselect all these numbers again. You don't necessarily have to, but then when you click the multi-level numbering, define new multi-level list, it brings up the settings we just set before, and we can modify these. So firstly, on level 1, I want to link level 1 to heading 1. That's the heading 1 style. I also want to link level 2 to heading 2 and level 3 to heading 3. If you now click OK, you can see that it's now restyled all the text. Now personally, I tend to make the top level headings around a size 20, nice and big, nice and bold quite often. And then every subsequent level, I'll come down 2 or 3 points in font size, depending on how many levels I have. Obviously you don't want to get down to sort of size 8 and size 6 font size because you can't read those. So let's start by right clicking heading 1, which currently says article 1, click and modify, and let's change a few attributes. So let's change that size 16 to a size 20 and make it bold and click OK. Let's go to heading 2, let's right click and modify. Again, let's increase the font size to a size 18. And if you want to change colors, that sort of stuff, that's entirely up to you. Most documents just go black all the way through, but we can just change colors here so we can see it. There's no dramas with that. So that's level 2 done. And then level 3, we're going to right click and modify. Let's make that a size 16. Let's just change the color again for the sake of it. And click OK. So there you go. There's all our styling. Everything's been sized the way we want it. Colors are optional. But what we're now going to do is to make stuff line up in a much more sensible way. So firstly, it's good to measure, if we go out towards the ruler here, sort of measure where the word article 1, where that finishes on the ruler. So if we say something like 3 or maybe 3.5 centimeters, that could be our start position for the text that follows the number. So 3.5, we're going to go with that. The stuff that's underneath, normally you indent the number to be in line with the text for the heading above. But because it's got such a large prefix here, that's not a good idea. So I reckon the 1.1 should be indented maybe 1 centimeter and the text that follows 2 centimeters. And then we'll adapt heading 3 accordingly. So let's go back in. Let's go back to the multi-level number icon. Choose Define New Multi-Level List. Bring up the old settings. And for article 1, so heading 1, level 1, we're going to align it at 0. That's fine. We're going to text indent at 3.5 centimeters. Level 2, we're going to indent at 1 centimeter and indent the text that follows it at 2 centimeters. And for level 3, we'll align the number at 2 centimeters and indent it at 3.5 centimeters to allow for the 3 digits. And click OK. So this is now where we're currently sitting. And as you can see, it's still quite squashed up, and that's because the font size is so much bigger than it was before we started. Now bear in mind that most documents don't have 3 levels of headings all next to each other. There's often paragraph text in between, there could be images or tables or other content as well, so it won't be this close together in reality. So what we've got here could work perfectly fine. So if you want a bit more space, if that makes you feel a bit more comfortable, you've seen the process, go back in, use a bit of trial and error, use a bit of common sense, and get something that works for you. But that's the process. I just really wanted to take you through how to go from article I to a 1.1, 1.1.1 system. It's actually pretty simple, and it's a fairly common thing that people do. So if this video has answered some questions for you, if it's got you out of a bit of a fix, please share that in the comments below. I love reading people's comments. It's very insightful, the sorts of issues that people have and the sorts of victories that people have as well. I love reading those, and whenever someone comments, I really appreciate it. And I respond to every single comment. So even if you just want to say hi, g'day, do that. I'll be glad to hear from you. Okay, that's it for now. See you for the next one.